All right. Good evening, everybody. I am Papa Shango, and tonight we've got the exciting conclusion of our Flashback Battle Royale race that's been going on, the event that's been going on for the last 2 months. We've got 4 racers that are all great and going to show you the best race that you can get. And we've got Double Down and Boo here in the booth to go over everything. So, welcome in, guys.
Gonna get into anything. Apparently people can't hear me though.
Probably for the best.
Apparently. Okay, good. They can hear me now. You didn't miss anything. I didn't say anything important. In fact, I've just been sitting here quietly waiting. So, in fact, I haven't said anything. So, the racers we've got today, again, we started with 56. We've got 4 now featuring Golden Shocker, who Golden Shocker had a near death experience on the Madron table, almost getting eliminated, but has come through, won a couple of races, had 2 first place finishes, and has come through with an average time of 1:33. So, uh, arguably the underdog. One of our somewhat newer players. He's been playing Worlds Collide since July 2022, but a force to be reckoned with. Has made quite a name for himself, and I think did very well in this event. We also have Drinks Glue. I don't think too many people know Drinks Glue. He's pretty obscure, doesn't talk a lot. We don't really see him or hear him in the Discord, but he has also afforded himself quite nicely in this event. Again, started around the same time as Golden Shocker. Has an average time in this event of 1:28:35. So, all things considered, pretty good time. Of course, those times were a little higher because of week 4 with the Madron table, but we don't need to talk about Madron too much. Of these 4 players, he actually had the fewest top 3 finishes. So he finished top 3 in 2 of the 8 weeks and no first place finishes. So he's really the underdog, the dark horse in this race tonight. And then we also have the Schwantz, who a bit less of a dark horse. I guess I don't know, off-white horse, maybe like a gray horse, maybe like a beige or a taupe horse. Schwantz, one of our veterans in the community, has been around since mid 2021. So played in this event that we're about to see the flags for in a moment. Had an average time in this event of 1:30:05. So pretty great run, all things considered. Again, didn't win any of the weeks, came pretty close, finished in top 3 in 3 of them, but was getting shut out by our favorite here, our forerunner, our front runner, Gar, who the newest of our 4 people here in terms of being in the community, having joined just over about a year and a half ago. I think Gar joined in the Moogle's first tournament, but had a blazing fast hour 25 average time for the event. Took 3 first place finishes, so won 3 different races. Although oddly enough, his best week was not one of his first place finishes. His best week was on the Coliseum 2 Edgar, where he ended up getting a 107. So he's finished on the podium 75% of these races, 6 out of 8. He's finished top 3. So Gar is playing to win here, and it's going to be tough work for all of these. This is going to be a very, very tight race. Any 4 of these racers could take this one. They're all incredible players, and yeah, it's going to be easy, except for the flag set that they've got to endure. That's going to be less easy. Boo, do you want to talk about the Battle Royale 2022 finals and semifinals flags?
Yes. So, just over 3 years ago, in February 2022, we kicked off the Battle Royale 2022, our first tournament from when we launched Worlds Collide 1.0. Actually, 2 years into its life, but the beta stuff doesn't count. And so we wanted to give everybody a challenge. This tournament was won by the illustrious Zelfer, narrowly defeating Dr. DT, both players still around. And to do that, they had to, and our runners tonight will have to start with 3 random characters. We've got random unique commands. We are guaranteeing blitz, jump, sword tech, throw, tools, and we are there is no steal, dance, sketch, or magitech. So we've got some specifics to work with. We're going to go with the standard 3-5-5 experience, MP, and gold scaling, just like you'll see in most standard flag sets. Although the level scaling will be at 2.5x rather than the standard 2, whereas the HP and XP and GP will be at 2. Hopefully you followed that. Max scale level 50, Let's see. We're going with original natural magic, no Ultima. Most of this is standard stuff. We're going to start with 1,000 GP, 2 warp stones, 1 phoenix down, 30% random chests. Shops will be random tiered, meaning they're going to have a tougher time finding good stuff in the shops. It's mostly going to be junk. We will not allow any Super Balls, Rods, Illuminas, or XPs in the shop. XP eggs in the shop. Equipable items, standard. Curse shields, pretty standard. Coliseum, we'll see if that happens tonight. We've got a 100% random, 50 to 80 rewards visible, and standard shuffling. Normalize and Distort has been turned on, everybody's favorite flag, meaning all the easy bosses become hard and all the hard bosses become virtually impossible. So that'll be fun for everybody. We have no free characters and espers, meaning all the quick checks are going to produce nothing but items. We'll see how many people want to advance the count there. All bosses are going to start with an extra 10 levels. And setting the Zozo clock will get you a fancy, shiny new Dragoon set. And we've got a few random objectives for some goodies around we'll get into during the race. Dragons will be buffed a little bit. The Zen Thief, I do remember this is a personal addition of mine. If you try to buy the Zen Thief in this set, you will immediately add 10 boss levels. So we'll see who wants to take that on early. And I think that's about the meat of it. We'll talk about the rest as we go. Back to you.
Yeah, it's not the simplest flag set in terms of approaching it, winning it. Like you said, random tiered shops is going to throw a wrench into things, and we've got Normalize and Distort, which, as you mentioned, a fan favorite, beloved by all. I think everybody wants Normalize and Distort in every flag set, so should be good. I think our runners are probably just about ready to get underway here. In fact, they're all sitting there ready to go. They've got their seeds loaded up. Be interested to see how they approach the start of the seed. We just went through the flags there. Boo, how would you be approaching the start of this compared to something like Ultros League or something more humane?
Yeah, so I think in Normalize and Distort, your items and stuff become like you being stronger becomes more important in my mind. So I would go around getting the freebies, checking for those high tier items, and off we go. And as mentioned, those boss levels, an extra 10 right off the bat. So you're going to want to get ahead of scaling. So find the items, check some shops, although I wouldn't probably check too many since they're probably going to be garbage, and then do a bit of grinding. I think getting early levels is key.
Yeah, and we've got a Gao start along with a couple other friends. Be interested to see how soon we find dried meat and whether we end up seeing a sort of conventional Gao opening with Serpent Trench dried meat, or if we see people go to Hauser's Mansion. We're seeing 4 out of 4 racers heading right to Narsh, so we're not going to see much deviation early on here.
Yeah, Narsh start is pretty typical. You just have to hit B on the controller right when you start the game, and it puts you right in town, and you get a nice, good, 6 or 7 free chests. Check some shops. It's a solid start. You may deviate if you have like a Celeste, go haul it straight to South Figaro, something like that. But I think this is pretty good and common strategy.
Yeah, we're seeing a few decent things in the shop so far. I mean, we've got the standard, usual consumables in the shop there, and the red caps, and I think there was red caps in the shop. We've got the Atlas armlets and things like that in the relic shop as well. So hopefully racers will be able to get up and running. I know with tiered shops, a lot of the time we sometimes see things like Mirage vests are a little more common, and some of the things you're really hoping for are less common. So hopefully the tiered shops aren't too hard on our racers today.
Yeah, these actually are looking fairly generous in Narsh here. Not too bad. Some usable tech in here. I always seem to find red jackets in tiered shops, so I'll be curious to see if we come across any of those.
Yeah, it looks like 3 out of 4 racers all following in lockstep, almost exactly synced up here, going to the Returner's hideout as well. So yeah, and the Schwant's right behind them. So everybody's got the same game plan here as we pick up a Thunder Shield. So we've got a little bit of power early on here.
1/4 of the way to Merton protection.
That's it. I mean, that's how it starts. With that and a dream. And I guess you have to find Merton too. That's sometimes helpful.
Although with these extra boss levels with Normalize and Distort, we may see that shield cracked. curious to see what the first bosses will be. What do you think? Let's early on in the game, you run into a tough boss. Do you crack the shield and forego your elemental defense and potential Merton protection for the whole game, or do you hang on to it?
Oof.
Try to muscle it through another way.
Don't put me in that situation. To be honest, normally I would probably be a little bit more willing to hang on to it. However, in this one where we've already started with 10 boss levels right off the hop, if I can cash that shield in early on to take out an early boss and kind of leap start my way into the seed, I'll do it. I don't even care. Go ahead, take my shield.
Yeah, I think if it's a tough boss especially, but if you run into something like Ultros 4 where you're not going to get anything out of it, other than progression, of course, I might be a little more willing to grind it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'd maybe use it, especially if I saw some like Air Force. If I could take out an Air Force before it can shrapnel me to death or something, that I'm happy. You know what? Here, have my Thunder Shield. Pearl
Definitely.
Earring in chat asking, what do sheared tops mean? That's a different thing. That's from the After Dark stream. But tiered shops. Boo, do you want to talk about tiered shops and give a little more detail of how that works?
Yeah, so tiered shops basically sort all the... Oh, look at that. Red jacket on Drinks Clue's screen. It's like I thought. Tiered shops
There it is.
basically means we've sorted all the good stuff into... Well, rather, we've sorted all the items by a tier. Top-level stuff, high tier, etc. And we basically made the probabilities for each tier have diminishing returns. So you're more likely to find the lower tier common stuff, less likely to find the top tier good stuff.
Yeah,
However,
you end up finding
it is still random. Like, it's not impossible. We still may see some stuff other than we won't see any Illuminas or XP eggs because those are turned off. But anything else goes.
Yeah, like you might see in all these shops, well, maybe, I mean, depending, of course, you're exactly right. It could be random. We'll probably, like, maybe some shops somewhere will have one VK or one Ragnarok somewhere, but there probably won't be a lot. But we're seeing already a lot of, your usual suspects of the mid-tier stuff, the red jackets, the Excaliburs. I don't think we've seen any Mirage Vest, but Mirage Vest is usually to me, the poster boy of tiered anything, is you see Mirage Vest.
Underrated item. It's especially in a pinch. Like, if you can't find, there's not a ton of great body armors in this game, and Mirage Vest, A tier at worst. Not mad to see that. No,
love a Mirage Vest. We are seeing a few ribbons come out here, so ribbons early means that we're gonna have a little bit more gold to spend in shops. This was a 1,000 GP start, so I think those ribbons will be very welcome to the runners right now.
They're worth a pretty penny. Although I did also, not that it has anything to do with a ribbon, but I did also see a merit award in a shop, I think here in South Figaro. Opens up some, it opens up a ton of strategies depending on who you have and what you got, but I'll be curious if people made a note of that for later.
It's a niche play. I don't think we see too many merit award strats come out, but you never know. Now with this lineup, we've got, I think, 3 different characters who all have checks that start with fixed encounters, which tend to be kind of a favorite. So in this situation, what do you think is most appetizing between the Serpent Trench, Owser's Mansion, and the Imperial Camp?
I think Imperial Camp is probably number one. Well, I take that back. If you can find some dried meat. Do we start with dried meat?
We do not start with dried meat.
We do not. So if you can find some dried meat, the combo play from the Velt into Serpent Trench is S tier. Like, that's the dream. If you don't want to go on a dried meat hunt, I would go Imperial Camp. You can peek it. There's no boss, and I'm not sure if it's any shorter than Serpent Trench, really, because there's a lot of cutscenes and stuff, but there's fewer fights, so if you less chance of having to reset out.
It looks like the Schwantz is digging deep for dried meat. He's wandering into Nikea looking for dried meat. He has not found it. He's just going to shop and deal with the loser boy. We did see there's an Esper for sale in Zen, but they're charging.
A few moments later.
Died.
I see the stream is up.
What'd you say, Papa? Pint. No worries. We all
our
have
racers are doing a lot of exciting things right now. They're completing checks and looting chests, and I think they're visiting some shops too.
I don't know if we went into it, but right as we froze, I did see a Mirage vest for sale.
Of course there is. Well, I see somebody is in the Serpent's Trench on the main stream. Also, to our restream, if you could share in Discord when you have a chance, that would be amazing. Yeah, it looks like all 4 of our racers are now playing the exact same client. They all seem suspiciously like their Golden Shocker.
I got nothing. I see a black screen. I don't know what you guys are looking at. I'm going to trust Matt at last, or excuse me, Matt Alast, and say Schwantz found Gigantos. That's a good one to find. Of course, you usually want to have some type of instant death for that fight, especially if they're miles ahead of you in level.
Yeah, I mean, great XP if you can get it, but not always easy to get. I mean, his counterattacks especially, sometimes you just bite it when you reach an early Gigantos, which is not always super fun.
Although, you know what helps big time for a Gigantos fight? Mirage Vest.
You know, it does help. It does help as long as you don't lose your image status very quickly. You know what else actually helps a lot for a Gigantos fight is being
Vanish?
invisible. It's like the one time where I use Vanish. Yeah.
Yeah, my Mirage Vest / Fenrir cast usually last precisely one hit.
Yeah. They last longer for everybody else, but not for me. Looks like Golden Shocker has picked up Stray from the Serpent Trench with a bunch of spells, Doom, and some stuff. Looks like he's passing the Thunder Shield around as well to get some more of that Bolt 2. I think we've all been in that situation where your best hope for getting into an early seed is teaching people tier 2 magic from a shield. Doesn't feel good, but it's got to be done.
Whatever you got to do. Better than trying to whack something with a sword at level 3.
That's right. Those air lancets don't exactly get the job done.
I feel like we're seeing different things now, which is a positive. Although now I'm seeing Gar, and I don't like it. So there we go. That's much better.
Don't worry, we've hidden him. You can, if your kids were awake, yeah, you don't have to worry about putting your kids to sleep. You know, it's fine. He's picking up Phoenix from the Velt. So dried meat is out there, and Gar has found it.
Yeah, Drinks Glue found it in a shop as we died before, and I didn't see where he was. So it was in a town somewhere.
Excellent. So it's in a shop. I bet it's in probably 5 shops, if I had to guess. How many shops drinks or dried meat is sitting in?
You know, there's actually a pretty decent chance it's only in 4.
Oh, shoot.
Because back then, for some reason, default flags was 4, and most of us, whenever we made new flags, didn't bother to change it until maybe 2023.
That's right. That's something I noticed going through some of these old flag sets. Now, I guess while we're kind of getting back up and running here, we are seeing some action going on. We're seeing some still life being fought and some Zozo exploration. But of all the flag sets, Boo, which one was the one that stood out to you as your beloved favorite in this event?
Oh, Zozo for sure.
Really? You're a pro Zozo bro?
No, I think that's the one I went out on. No, is it? I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know. That's fun. I mean, we've had years of playing very similar flag sets, so I'm up for anything that does something a little bit different, although it is fairly infuriating, so yeah, I get it. I do like to see Schwantz doing the old clock quest here, grabbing him a Force Armor and a full Dragoon set, and there's where that potentially a Merit Award could come in handy if you've got, you know, a full set and nobody can equip it.
Great call. Yeah, that's a nice pickup. And Schwantz probably one of our fastest clock solvers. He did produce a very effective video tutorial on how to solve the clock, which I researched heavily before the Zozo flag set in this event. So yeah, the master of the clock himself is putting his skills to good work as he picks up a Dragoon set. And folks in chat, feel free to pipe in as well what your favorite flag set from this event was, or what your least favorite flag set from this event was. Maybe they were the same. Maybe you have very strong mixed feelings about Zozo. We are all there. Maybe you all loved Maduin, because spoiler, Maduin flag set will be the official Ultra League Season 8 flag set. So you heard it here first.
I'm sure people are going to love that.
Yeah, I'm watching the number of members we have on our Discord, and it's dropping down very quickly as we're seeing Gigantos returning on the Velt. Now, that's not where you really want to see a Gigantos.
No, not a good one. You get precisely nothing from it.
Hey, you might get a Hardened.
I'd stand corrected.
In fact, he did receive a Hardened, so if Hardened was the thing to break the seed wide open, then Schwantz has the key right there as Golden Shocker fighting Ultros 2 in the Serpent Trench.
Is it Golden Shocker or is it Drinks Clue? Who can tell? We've got some remaining technical difficulties. Our restreamer has informed us things are not going well. We may dip out, but Papa, if you can hear me, I think it's worth it to just get it over with now. So for the rest of the race,
Yeah, rip the Band-Aid off. So it looks like we're kind of all covering similar ground here. Nobody has found that new character yet, so everybody is basically doing a lot of the similar fixed encounter checks early on. I think the Schwantz is one of the first ones to break out of that. Actually, no, I stand corrected. The Schwantz and I believe Golden Shocker are both going. One's going to Esper Mountain, the other one's going to Mount Colts. So I guess pick your favorite mountain and head over there.
ooh, I prefer Narsh Mountain.
Narsh Mountain. Narsh Mountain is awfully tall. There's a lot of walking to do in Narsh Mountain. I think Esper Mountain is a nice quick mountain, and Mount Colts is a deceptively quick mountain. Mount Colts is like a minute and fight a boss. It's hard to argue with that.
It is true. I went on a crusade years ago when people slept on Mount Colts. I'm glad people are more into it now. However, I don't know. I've never been bothered by the climb up Narsh, and it does contain a dragon if you do it in the right world and a fight, and it gets you access to another quick check. So I'm actually a fan, but I mean, there's no real reason to go up there right now.
True. And the Schwantz has been rewarded with Poltergeist, not at all who you want to see this early in the seed where you've got no offense. Meanwhile, Golden Shocker is dealing with Marshall and Tap Dancers. A little bit of an anachronistic appearance here, as I don't think we saw Marshals and Tap Dancers too much in the Battle Royale 2022. In fact, I know that we never saw them in Battle Royale 2022, but Golden Shocker doesn't care. He's just going to murder that Marshall as the Schwantz continues to try his best against this Poltergeist. Now, Boo, would you keep going on this Polty, or would you be just getting out of there?
So I'm not sure what Schwantz has available other than that sweet Dragoon set, but I did notice Gar, who has the same characters, I saw him cast Landslide. And so I'm not sure if I would assume it solves that problem. But I was going to say, if we can survive for a couple, yeah. So I see the Prussian on the rage list. So with that, I might give it a shot. But problem worked itself out naturally.
Prussian, one of the premium rages. It might look like a bunch of physical rocks falling, but secretly it is just flare, except fast and awesome. And we also have an Esper Seraphim with Magic Power +1 floating around in the back of the Phantom Train. So still no characters to be found. We haven't seen anybody go to the Zone Eater Cave. So do we think we're going to see a Zone Eater Cave, or where could this character be hiding at this point?
There's always somebody that likes it, or is at least is willing to do it. And sometimes, you want to try to get that check that you think nobody else is going to do because it may give you an edge. If everybody just chose all the same common checks at the same time, then it'd be a pretty boring race. So I hope somebody does it.
I'm just glad it doesn't have to be me. I'm surprised that we haven't seen anybody test the waters in Owsers yet. You'd think that might be not too unappealing, especially as we see the good options starting to dwindle. But we do have some folks in here like Drinks Glue is a degenerate and likes to do awful checks. So I'm surprised to see him not go for the Zone Eater Caveat. He's the sort of guy who would, rush into the Burning House if he had the option. Even without Strago, he would probably go into the Burning House if they would let him in.
That's who I was looking at. I think we probably haven't seen Owsers because we had, the other Serpent Trench and Imperial Camp available, right? So Owsers has the benefit of a few grind fights before the boss, but it does contain a boss. So there's a chance that you can start there and then get walled and your progress is lost. Or the others don't really have that problem unless you hit something terrifying as just a random encounter. So my assumption is they skipped it at first and now they're, now it's just considered a long check and I'll do something else.
Yeah,
hey, look,
fair
Merton.
approach. I just saw the Merton, and we have 1/3 of the way to our protection for it, and more if they bought those red jackets.
It looks like you did, because they're all still alive.
Ooh. Wow,
Wicked.
Drinks Glue, he might be in the driver's seat here. I did see Guard dispatch that Ultros very, very quickly with Landslide, kind of getting back to what you were saying about how good the Prussian and Luridan rages are. So, but yeah, Drinks Glue, he's going to be off to the races if he's got that Merton up and running.
No escape from reality. Caught in it. Oh, Dragonhorn. That was a Queen joke.
I got it. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Or we could do a Fleetwood Mac joke too. Or is it just Stevie Nicks? I don't know. Well, so speaking of glutton for punishment, Drinks Glue is headed into the forest to, honestly, it's not the worst play considering we're, like you said, checks are dwindling. We got to find that character. You can peek it early here. The downside is if it is something you want, now you got to do this horrifically long check. I would assume, well, maybe I shouldn't assume. I would have guessed he would have done Gogo's check, but I think it looks like he's just going to go all the way through it for this Esper. So.
Yeah, I think the Magic Power +1, I think it's just too tempting for them to give up. I would assume.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good point.
I hate this place. I tend to try to avoid the Phantom Train unless I'm in a odd mood, but Magic Power +1 is hard. It's no Magic Power +2. It's really almost half as good as Magic Power +2, but still.
Just about. Yeah, this is a, like, all I have left is this and Strago checks. This is the only time this gets done, for me anyway. But I had a point.
Well, we
It's
see
gone.
Gar is worried about getting the point from Sabin here, as Sabin has turned on him. Luckily, he's not a very scary Sabin, so not the kind of situation where a waist shake or a muddle effect could get yourself killed. Looks like Gar Sabin is just going to sort of dance around harmlessly, which I'm sure Gar is pleased that he's not getting wiped by his own team member.
No, here's my point, dude. Drinks Glue is we're 23 minutes into this +10 boss level normalize and distort seed, and he's already at 3 and 6. So you might as well toss in a couple long checks. He's got to feel like he's doing pretty good at this point.
Yeah, I mean, especially a check like this where you've got a couple encounters. Like, we don't really think about it with Phantom Train, but there is a fixed encounter in there as well. So, and then you could always choose to take more if you're a glutton for that kind of stuff. But yeah, Drinks Glue, I think, is an early leader here in terms of just having not only a lead on progression, but also just a lot of power. That Merton setup online early on is proving to be pretty effective, although I don't think he's the only one. I think Schwantz also has Merton up and going. As he Mertens Ultros 2 to death. That's seafood soup right there.
Youch.
Youch indeed. So we're still seeing a lot of the same checks though. So I'm curious to see which of these racers will be the first to find a character, and if that will be something that lets that racer vault into the lead.
I really hope it's at Kefka and Narsh, if I'm being honest.
Wouldn't that be fitting for an old school style seed? I feel like seeds were gated at Kefka and Narsh much more back in the good old days.
Oh yeah, we don't have. Hey, Matt is just miles ahead of all of us here. I don't know why we're talking about Zone Eater, because nobody has Go-Go. I think we were, at least I was mistaken, because it's the icon for the character, like the character count, not the characters
Yeah, it sure
we
is.
have.
It sure is. Yep, 100%.
So,
Wow.
yeah, I hope nobody actually does that one. Actually, I kind of do, but they can't see the counter, so... Well, actually, that'd be interesting. If we saw somebody go to Zone Eater, and then we'll know they were watching the stream, and we can call them cheaters.
Jokes on them. This was the Zozo flag set all along. The characters are all shuffled, so you know, don't look into that. Don't fact check me on that. But that's what's going on.
It's so Kefka and Arch is looking pretty likely, if you ask me.
Kefka and Arch is looking pretty good at this point. We've got Owser's Mansion. So I guess there's a question for you. Do you go and check Kefka and Arch first, or do you just face check Owser's Mansion?
That's a good question. I mean, if we had Terra, it's a different situation. If we had Mog, it's a totally different situation. Of course, we wouldn't, you know, that wouldn't even matter at that point. Given the choice, I would definitely check. I would peek Kefka and Arch first, because it's a 30 seconds up there. You can save scum it rather than Owser's. You got to go through the whole check and pray. So that's what I would do.
100%. I think I completely agree. You just reset right at a Kefka and Arch the moment you see a soldier or a merchant sitting up there.
Although Hefe points out no free progression is on, so the likelihood that it's dead is low. So you could probably just go do it, get away with whatever it is. And if it happens to be Kefka and Arch, you do that one next. So.
And if not, you end up with a Bismarck or something, then that's fine too.
Yep.
Golden Shocker dealing with Poltergeist, going a little less smoothly than some of the other Poltergeist fights. Although, there's a boss that doesn't care about your Merton going on anyway. So I'm not even sure if Golden Shocker has the Merton up and running, but he's not going to get much value out of it against Poltergeist. So looking like a tough fight. Although the Landslide Rage, if it actually procs, will get him through this hopefully.
It's like Schwantz just peeked an Atma weapon in the shop, and now I'm curious if we had the stronger Atma weapons for this back in 2022. I think we did by then.
Yeah, I think the week 7, the Kefka Grand Prix finals, I think did not have stronger Atma weapon. I think that was the only one. Yeah. It was a pretty early flag in development. Well, early-ish. It was like 0.7 or 0.8 or something.
Yeah, it was a good year in at least. There was some debate around that one because we're actually kind of changing the vanilla behaviors and damage calculations, right? And we made some exceptions for the bosses so that they weren't literal one-shots every time, but we kind of decided, well, Atma finally decided after hearing us whine about it for a long time that Atma weapon is kind of one of those classic, like, weapons that represents Final Fantasy pretty well, and it was just kind of unusable before that flag, so it went in.
Weird that the developer of Worlds Collide, Atma Tech, had a soft spot for the Atma weapon. Couldn't have imagined something like that happening, but there you have it. Drinks Glue now dealing with that same Poltergeist who, again, Drinks Glue, who's been very Merton heavy so far, not able to Merton his way through this one. Sabin's already been blasted. Gao's clutching 4 hit points for dear life here, so could be a spooky fight as we see Golden Shocker is going to go to Kefka and Narsh, so either Golden Shocker or the Schwantz is going to find a character.
Oh, no bolt on Evil Oscar. Fire only, please. Or just bounce on his head. That's my preferred method.
Always a challenge for me remembering what the elemental weaknesses are for Malboro-shaped things. Mad Oscars and Evil Oscars, I can never remember that they randomly absorb elements. I don't know.
Yeah, I think fire is always good, as far as I can remember. And I don't even try anything else because I don't want to bother remembering. But it seems like they absorb everything else. So looks like no.
Yeah, it looks like
that wasn't a character.
No, it was a merchant. Unless Locke is in there in disguise.
I guess.
It's a Hauser's, yeah.
All right. Well,
now, Golden Shocker choosing to do the check. Would you do this check here? Considering, now we are playing on the most recent version, so you are getting teleported down to Arvis's house when you finish it, but you're at 3-6. Are you going to do it?
I think his thinking here. Oh, looks like we've got Go-Go, so we are going to see his Zone Eater check.
We knew it all
guys.
along.
We're just far ahead of you. I'm sure his thinking is he can get a free teleport down, grab some progression. But yeah, if you know it's going to be, well, I guess where it's not technically guaranteed it'll be an Esper. It's highly likely it'll be an Esper. There is still the possibility of it being dead. I think 2 checks in this seed can be dead. Depends on what the auction house is set to anyway. But yeah, like you don't really want to stockpile Espers when you still have 3 more characters to find. Otherwise, you'll run into some inefficient, useless progression. That said, you could also find yourself on a Fenrir or a Golem or something useful. So not necessarily the worst thing.
No, and this was an innovative, at the time, seed in that it had the skip. So the skip, I think, was pretty recent invention because I think this was one of the very, very first 1.0 events. And in fact, this might have been the first, or
well,
not
technically
1.0,
we
yeah.
had the Tiny Winter Tournament to debut the 1.0
right,
version, but that was more like a 3-weekender.
Yeah.
This was the first official event tournament.
The first big one. So there was a KT skip available. So there is a skip for 9 characters or 12 Espers. I don't think we're going to get to 9 characters, but I could see us getting the 12 Esper skip here, depending on how things play out.
Possible, but we know Zone Eater is going to be a character, so that'll immediately get us to 5. So I'm betting not. Then again, the Schwanz only has 3 Espers.
Yeah,
he's the first to find that character, but the others won't be too far behind. So I know we had a little trouble with Poltergeist early on. Hopefully, it didn't set him back too much. Oh, he's taking a tumble. It's cool because now we get to see what all the treasure is and satiate my curiosity. See, look at that.
Hey,
totally worked.
See, look at that. Murn protection.
Yeah, instant Murn protection.
This is the reward for Schwanz finally going to the Zone Eater cave. He's, we've been shaking our head that he didn't go this whole time. He's finally gone.
That's what I thought. I didn't want to, sorry about that. It was just fact checking. I don't want to contradict you, but the Arvis House warp didn't come in until December 2022 for 1.2.
Yeah,
so,
it was later.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it came in the same patch that Moogle Defense came in. I believe. I think we just.
Oh, that can't be right. Moogle Defense didn't come in until Atma had already vanished, because Amatech was also anti-Moogle Defense check, mostly because it added yet another pushover boss to the pool. That was just, this game has kind of a lot of easy bosses, but we worked around it.
We did. We violated our principles a little bit, but we do have Terra here, so that's good. Although it now means that there's a whole raft of checks now to deal with.
Wow. Okay. It also means, well, has anybody not checked? Well, anyway, if they don't check Kefka at Narsh and they go straight to Owzers and then they get Terra, then they can get a little more efficient with their Kefka at Narsh check.
Yeah.
Just to provide some check efficiency here.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where Schwanz goes with his Terra. He's now out in the lead in terms of getting deeper into the seed. Still a little behind on progression, although not by much. But that's because Drinks Glue and Golden Shock are both exhausting every other possible option, but both going through Azur's Mansion now and are going to shortly have a go-go of their very own, and will probably also be going to the Zone Eater cave.
And in comes Gar as well. Schwanz just checked what that what the kid said, but I missed it.
You are not going to take Golem away, are you?
Okay, well, keep that in the back pocket. Nope, we're putting it back in the front pocket.
He's going in.
We're going in. He hit that animation skip, which is a relatively new thing for Worlds Collide. I think a lot of the original hackers and maybe even, I don't think they're in vanilla speedruns, considering you don't need this, but or wait, you do need this. Longest time, probably, I don't even know if we had it in this tournament. People had no idea about that little skip. Everybody just sat there and waited for the stupid dog, the cuddly, friendly dog to walk all the way up and behind the bookshelf. Some golden-hearted runner hit the Discord and basically said, "Why are you guys doing that?" And a new era was born.
Don't you people know that if you turn left quickly, you can annihilate the dog from existence? And at the time, the meta was very anti-dog. It's changed a lot in the years since, but yeah, at the time
Now we pet the dog.
we do pet the dog aggressively. So we see the Schwanz has gone to Mobley's. He's still going to fight for this golem. We'll see who remains after the Baba Breath and who he has to fight. Meanwhile, Golden Shocker and Drinks Glue picking up their go-go's, probably going to both make a beeline for the Zone Eater Cave as we see them reduce their party to 1. Gar not far behind. So at this juncture, who do you see has the advantage in this race?
Well, I mean, Drinks Glue is the only one that I've noticed. I'm not saying he's the only one. The only one I've noticed that has Merton online. And that's a huge, I mean, it's just, I mean, it destroys everything on the screen, literally, unless of course
Schwanz is
it's...
also... Schwanz is also
okay.
Merton. He's a Merton man.
But okay, but Schwanz is technically behind on total progression, so I would put Drinks Glue probably in the lead by a nose, followed comfortably, or not comfortably, followed closely by Golden Shocker, and then I think Gar and Schwanz are maybe neck and neck. I don't know. It feels like even though Schwanz is technically in the lead on characters and progression, he's pretty behind on finding stuff. So that can, espers can be quickly made up. As I mentioned earlier, we were 22 minutes in, and Drinks Glue had already found 6 of them. So if he goes back through the same kind of progression, he can make that up pretty quickly.
I think a lot's going to depend too on the check luck, like the routing luck people get once they pick up their Terra. So we saw the Schwanz did not immediately find a character, but if somebody like Drinks Glue or Golden Shocker, who are coming in with most of their espers already lined up, if they go in there and immediately find a character sitting at Zozo that they first check or something like that, then I think that could vault them into the lead very quickly.
Yeah. Golden Shocker hit that one screen floor stomp, which is pretty tough to do. Picks
I'm
up
a coward.
Go-go.
I'm a coward and I do it in 2, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
I always go for it, but I think only twice in my life have I ever actually hit the transition before the floor comes crashing down.
Well, I think
I'm going to call it frame perfect.
Due to some Zone Eater RNG, it's perfect enough. You know, it's perfect enough for government work. As Golden Shocker heads to a different check, so he is going to go to the sealed gate. I assume he's going to do the loot room and then do the sealed gate. We'll see where Drinks Glue is going. Drinks Glue has slipped a little behind now, I think, thanks to Zone Eater RNG between waiting for impresarios or conductors, whatever you want to call them, or and just getting demied a whole bunch. So tough break there.
Welcome to my life. Although I hope Golden Shocker doesn't do the whole thing, because no free progression is on, and that will be a huge waste of time.
Yeah, and he is gonna. No, he is going in. So
he's gonna do it. Yikes.
That is a tough one. Yeah, no free progression. Well, easy flag to forget about.
Yeah, I hope there's something good at the end of it. I really do.
This is old check rewards, so I think he's going up there for Marvel shoes.
Oof. But I'm actually kind of happy because my favorite thing in this entire game, and really any video game, is getting loot. So I want to see all the loot, and I hope he already skipped one. So like my OCD is already kind of crawling a little bit. Drinks Glue skipped a chest inside Zone Eater, and I already started scratching my arm. I mean, it's tough out here. But thanks, Gar, for grabbing both of those.
I saw that Gar grabbed both. He's got a little bit of loot goblin in him, so that's a reaffirming thing to see. As the Schwanz has headed up to, I believe that's the Welk check. He's fighting Dullahan, not a particularly difficult boss. Drinks Glue right behind him, so if that's the lucky spot, I didn't see what the reward was before the Welk fight started. We're going to see it momentarily, but that might be the ticket in, and if so, then Drinks Glue is going to be off to a nice little lead.
Yeah, I didn't. Here. Oh, Cyan, nice.
Oh no.
So that'll be character number 6, and then it's the race for 2 more espers. Oof, Genji shield. That might be. Oof, is that the worst one? And no, I think at this point a red cap might be the worst one.
There's a Genji helmet in the list as well. Don't forget.
Okay, well that's definitely the worst one. Yeah.
Yeah, Genji helmet. I think
money.
Gem box is in that list too. It's pretty awful, but so Golden Shocker right now is probably remembering something is kind of scratching the back of his neck saying, oh, no free progression is on, and he's probably a little angry at himself. Meanwhile, Drinks Glue is about to get the cyan. Will be interesting to see whether he just goes and does the dream, or if he does, some backfill. I think he's got a few checks from other folks left, or how he approaches this. He could always go to the auction house.
So, the dream is the most efficient 3 checks in Worlds Collide. It's the quickest. But there are 3 of them, and there is a possibility of a character, which he doesn't need. So he may go Doma into Mount Zozo, pick up a dragon, and, hope. I would do the dream, personally, because we know that first check is not going to be a character, the throne is not going to be a character. Odds are you're going to find 2 espers in there. But it is, it's still a gamble because it's not a quick check, it's a quick 3 checks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very efficient.
At the Doma, that thing. Doma. Sorry, my phone just made noise and I thought this thing was off. So.
It's such Strago calling you, warning you not to say anything bad about him, as Gar defeats Katana Soul. So there was a Katana Soul in the Monster in a Box in the Narsh Beginner's House, so he's picked that up. Gives him a nice chunk of change, which he could probably parlay into a Zen Thief if he hasn't already bought it. I'm not sure if the Zen Thief was bought during our brief outage, so it will be interesting to see if people go to Zen. Given that we have a Sabin start, I assume everybody has gone to the Collapsing House during the dark times.
Most definitely. Otherwise, we would have seen it at some point before Kefka at Narsh and Owzers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it looks like Gar, according to the chat, Gar bought Zen Thief. If anybody knows what was there, clue us in. We know it was expensive in one town, so he probably checked the other.
Yeah, because it was a 54k Esper in the World of Balance, so I'm assuming it was cheaper in the World of Less Balance.
Gonna hit up this dragon. Looks like he's prepping himself for his Merton now.
Yeah, Gar sitting at 11 progression. Schwantz is at 10. Drinks Glue at 13. Golden Shocker at 12. So a fairly tight grouping here, but I think Drinks Glue, because of that routing luck, I think he's got a bit of an edge right now. We'll see if he can hold on to it.
And yes, the Matt brings up yet another good point that will disprove shortly, again, that no free progression is on, so Collapsing House won't give you a reward. However, lots of good loot and a free high-tier item for doing it. So, if I have it at the start of a seed, I'm probably still doing it. And if you want to go for monsters in boxes, that's a good way to do it too.
Yeah. Well, and it's nice to see your character nod at an NPC a couple times after too. I like to see that kind of exchange of pleasantries. I think it kind of inspires me.
As the world crumbles down around, it's that one little glimmer of hope.
That's right. We still have time for the simple courtesies in life. And that's, again, it's kind of an affirmation for me as we see Golden Shocker going through the dream. So he's diving right in, going to just commit to the bit and try to get some espers. He's got, he's looking for 2 and 3 odds here. So hopefully he can find some shiny stones.
Yeah, and interestingly, Drinks Glue is going up, claiming Narsh, going after that dragon and this what will likely be an Esper, and then he has one more decision to make. May go to Mount Zozo for another dragon, although as a reminder, pretty much every dragon you fight adds another 10 levels to the remainder of the dragons, so they're going to get tougher. So we'll see if they elect to do another one, although with the firepower he's got, what can it hurt? Gar's taking the same strategy, interestingly. I think Gar doesn't have Cyan yet, so I'm happy to see Golden Shocker do the dream. Looks like Schwantz had a little bit of trouble with Dullahan, I think it was. No, not Dullahan. Whoever he was fighting at Doma, but finally made it through.
Yeah, got through Golden Shocker. Golden Shocker not dealing with anything too difficult. Tunnel Armor again. So we've got Tunnel Armor, and then we've got the leader being fought. So we're not exactly seeing Murderer's Row here in terms of bosses. That does potentially make the Kefka's Tower a little scarier, as we could be in for some spooky bosses left over. And looks like Drinks Glue is he's done waiting. He's going to go right for Kefka's Tower. Who cares if I don't have enough Espers? I'm going.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if he's just trying to like get some more experience here, or what the approach is.
Are we sure the tracker is correct? Maybe he does. Maybe he did have unlock, and we just didn't see it.
We should just ask him to go into his track menu.
Yeah, somebody go into his chat and send him a message.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Don't do that.
Don't. Yeah.
Okay, so Blue on his tracker has 8 espers, so he's just he's going a little early to clear it out, and he'll come back once he has the goods. I mean, he can't be counting on a skip. So
No, because
I
it's
guess
only.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
3
it's
extra.
only characters or espers. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just. I think he's just taking the safe route, clearing it out,
Mhm.
while he thinks about where to go next, and then by the time he gets it, there will be no resistance. Well, virtually
Yeah,
no.
I mean, not an inefficient play. I mean, he knows he's got to fight these bosses anyway. He knows he's got to go through here. He knows his levels aren't that high, and like he's 1 esper away, so it's not like he's going to be fighting a million more bosses and getting a ton of XP. So, yeah, I mean, it's not crazy. Now, I'm surprised he didn't grab that dragon there.
So dragons count as checks, and checks are what increase scaling. So I'm assuming he's doing the bosses now while scaling is slightly lower, and then maybe he can grab the dragons on his either his second way through or just ignore them altogether. But they'll technically be a little easier the next time.
I think he's going to be kicking himself when he finds out there was a Marvel shoes he could have got from that dragon.
Rip. I now give the edge to Golden Shocker.
Well, I mean, he
Right.
might not fight that dragon either. He might not get the Marvel shoes. It remains to
But
be
he-
seen.
He does have a Genji shield, may I remind you.
He does have a Genji shield. Oh, that one hurt. So we've got Foon Baba in Kefka's tower.
Fun Bob. It's
And,
not
Gold-
it's not the worst one to find, but he's like an XP, the HP, damage sponge. Although with normalize and distort, maybe he got distorted lower. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, he's probably not too dangerous, but he could eat up a bit of time. Golden Shocker, speaking of not too dangerous, Golden Shocker fighting one of the more trivial bosses, just got to get through a bunch of piranhas, and it looks like we did not roll low on the piranha timers, so Golden Shocker having to fight several waves of these awful things till he finally gets Rizzo Pass.
Looks like he's still GP reigning at the end of the seed, which isn't a great sign.
No, that feels terrible. Yeah, Rizzo Pass.
Powering up.
Rizzo Pass luckily did not distort too high, so his Bolt 3 didn't annihilate the team. But yeah, Gold
Looks like he's
Shocker's
definitely
offense.
got extra HP though.
Yeah, he's lasting a little bit. He's supposed to be a 3-shot boss, not a 13-shot boss, but here we are. I think we are seeing the big difference between Golden Shocker's offense and Drink's Glue, though. I think Golden Shocker, not quite as punchy at this point. Unfortunately, the Genji shield was not enough to push his offense into high gear.
To the surprise of everyone. I think Gar has found... Someone in the chat said someone found a VK, a Valiant Knife, which I didn't see, so I'm not sure who it was, but Gar's the only one I saw that has an offering, so that could be a thing.
I think the VK might have been from the Nourish Dragon, but we do see Golden Shocker has just hit Go mode. He's our first person in Go mode.
Oh, congratulations. But Gar, at the very least, we know he has an offering and that Atma weapon. So like he's powering up pretty good, and he's got Merton online. So now it's just a matter of basically boss luck and strategy at this point. Drink's Glue has one more check to do. We'll see what happens at the end of Mount Zozo here, but then they should be kind of pretty close together.
Yeah. The Schwantz still playing a bit of catch up, has stalled out on progression a little bit. What do we need to see from Schwantz to get back into this thing?
Well, we know he's got some decent offense. We know he's got Merton online, he's got a Fire 3 caster, and he's got a full Dragoon set, may I remind you. So I think he's just gotten screwed by RNG. That Mast has to be what it is. Really, so I think now he's doing those starting checks that everybody else did. So I fully expect All right, he's playing some rename games. That's cool. I fully expect to see his Esper count go up pretty fast, but I don't know if it's going to be Dr. Glue.
I was gonna say,
I don't know if it's going to be enough, but I hope it is.
it's not going to go up very quickly now that he's spending some good quality time in the rename card room, but maybe cognizant of his progress at the 50-minute mark, he's making good choices. I approve of his actions as he takes an interesting way to spell Golden Shocker.
You know, there's a precedent for this. I think Schwantz he's done this in a in a restreamed race before. I'm into it.
Yeah, I like it. We don't see enough rename card.
I don't know why he chose in the middle of a check between two fights to do it, but you know, like, all right.
Sometimes the mood just takes you at an inopportune time, and you feel the call of the rename card, and you have to pull him out and slap him on the people.
Heed the call. So are you? If you're Golden Shocker and you're good to go, are you playing it safe and putting the full party in path number 3, knowing we've got Normalize and Distort? Or are you just going for it?
I am 100% playing it safe. Now, caveat, I am usually too prone to playing it safe, but in this situation, we've seen Golden Shocker's offense has not been exactly lighting the world on fire. I'm not even looking at how he's been dealing with bosses so far. I'm not sure how he's even able right now to safely tackle Final Kefka. So if I'm him, I am getting as many levels as possible, because if I don't have an ironclad offense, then I'm going to try to paper over that with levels. And that's, I think, what his only path forward here is.
Yeah, and I'm definitely looting Kefka's Tower. Like, I know people frown on it. I don't care. Like, I'm looking for that Hail Mary Illumina in a box or whatever it is. Like, if you're still hucking money in Kefka's Tower, I'd be doing everything I can to find something else.
That's it. I mean, that's it right there. If you're seeing GP rain coming out at the 50-minute mark, then something has gone wrong with your offense. And yeah, like, dig deep. Maybe check a couple extra shops, maybe check a couple extra chests to find that miraculous VK in a box somewhere. But yeah, his levels are still, they're not super low, but his levels are still in like the low 30s. So given that he doesn't have an amazing offense coming out, like he doesn't have the Merton setup or anything like that, levels are basically your only other option, and just hope you can brute force through some of these bosses.
Yeah, hopefully he's got some espers he's learning some spells from or something. It's just mostly, it looks like Fire 3, and then that's about it.
Yeah, it's Fire 3 and Dreams. Fire 3 and swinging an Aura Lance and throwing GP Rain. It's a tough way to live right now.
Looks like he's rocking a gem box, unless he's got natural X magic, which could be a thing. His magic power is not especially great either, so I hope we don't, but I'm expecting to see a long and frustrating climb out of Golden Shocker unless he pulls something out here in the next 10 minutes.
Now, would you be remotely tempted at this point? And I know who I'm asking, so I think I already know the answer to this, but would you be tempted, seeing as you're sitting on a spear that you're not getting much value out of, would you be tempted to hop over to Zozo and check on that clock?
100%. If 100%. I mean, I would do it anyway. And that's, if we're being 100% honest here, that might be why Schwantz is behind, because he did the whole clock puzzle. But like Golden Shocker here, like I said, I don't know, last time I'm going to say it, but if you're throwing money at the 50-minute mark in Kefka's Tower, like, something ain't working. So I would do it.
Well, and I think too, it probably stung Schwantz a little bit more when he did that Zozo clock and then found Terra like 5 minutes later. So it'll be interesting to see, is that an argument right now for somebody like Glue who needs that last Esper and he's left Kefka's Tower? Do we maybe see him going to Zozo to get his last Esper and maybe set a clock blaze there? I probably not. He's not a big fan.
Probably not. I don't think he's not a fan of that particular strategy. But as you said, I mean, he's got Terra, so you could kill 2 birds with 1 stone here, and hopefully that has that last Esper he's looking for. So that's not bad. And we should clarify, like, if one character's throwing money, you're not necessarily in deep doo-doo. it's what if the other 3 characters are good to go, then clearly you can just have a utility character here. But he's maybe got 1 usable character, 1 passable character, and I think that's it.
If the other characters are staring longingly at the character who's throwing GP Rain, saying, "Boy, I wish that was my offense," then you know that things have gone wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Drinks Glue is going back in.
Oh, did he pick up? Did he pick up an Esper we didn't notice?
I am very confused.
I saw him go loot, and then I saw him hover over Magitech Factory, and then come right back here. I'm not sure what happened in the interim.
He looted the treasure shack, but I mean his automatic tracker on his stream does show 6 and 8. So I mean,
yeah. All right. Well, he's got something in mind. He is no Drinks Glue is no slouch. He knows what he's doing and has won many a race, so I won't question it yet.
Yeah, that comes during the post-race interview.
Good time to thank our trackers, by the way, doing a bang-up job. I won't question them anymore either.
Yeah, we're kind of quietly throwing shade at them, which we shouldn't be. So Gratham and Sigil both doing a great job tracking and helping to dispel the mystery of Drinks Glue's Esper count. So appreciate.
And as we've been propping up, or rather hyping up Gar's Worlds of Offense, I just saw him throw money also, so maybe that's not a good litmus test.
Maybe we're just out of touch, and GP Rain is back in the meta.
New meta?
Yeah. Personally, I'm a bit of a GP Rain hater, but
we are in the finals. They are in the finals, and we are not. So who knows?
Yeah, maybe if we just threw a little bit more GP, we'd be here right now. Golden Shocker picking up. Picking up some fixed dice. So now I think you'd be even more tempted to go to Zozo now that you've got kind of the premium Dragoon weapon, right?
Do they have a shop there I can sell those at?
Well, why would you do that? That's
every time I give them another chance, I regret it every single time. If Twitch still saved VODs longer than like 22 minutes, you could go back and hear me still screaming at it. God, I hate those dice.
Well,
we'll
see.
Look at the output on Schwanz's screen, though. A 3-piece at least. It might have been 4. I don't know. There's at least 3 jumps there. Basically, one-shot Rizzapass in about 12 nanoseconds. You just can't beat that often.
If I'm using GP Rain at 57 minutes, I'm trying to find somebody on my team who can equip that fixed dice right now.
Yeah, I mean, does Merit Award allow for equipping fixed dice? I know it's usually just like the heavy stuff. I don't know if fixed dice is on the list.
Merit Award lets you do everything. I think other than you probably still can't equip an Atma weapon on a rage user. Although, hey, maybe you can do that too.
Well, it won't let you equip light armor like Minerva and whatnot. Won't help with that.
Oh, that's a skill issue.
So
as the Schwanz picks up a 9th Esper, so Schwanz is in go mode. The Schwanz is he's back in it. He's back in it, folks.
Oh, hey, well, we have a message from a longtime runner, haven't seen in quite a while, but Falcon Hit, hi Falcon Hit, lets us know that Merit Award is everything except female specific. So it's not light armor, it's just the female stuff.
Hopefully he's right about that. Falcon Hit, famously not very good at this video game. I don't think has ever really had much success at Worlds Collide. No. So difficult to take him at his word, but I guess, I mean, maybe he's been studying game facts to get better. Hopefully we see him win a race at some point. As Golden Shocker, the opposite of Falcon Hit, just nearly gets taken out, but clutches it out. Nice job, Golden Shocker.
The one character with offense was, was enough for that fight anyway.
Well, GP Rain softened Atma weapon up, so that's why Realm was able to take it home. And Drinks Glue is just now coming to the realization as he hit the message and saw the notification that he does not have KT requirements.
Well, so
this is a dark time. If you're Drinks Glue right now, like you are feeling self-loathing.
He's now he's contemplating if he wants to go on, which he will. But there's just a minute of regret there. But this does put, Schwantz has got his Rex. Him and Gar are literally fighting the same boss, so I would assume they're kind of neck and neck. I can't comment on whose offense is better. They have similar offenses, although the strength of that Merton may tell us something that we saw on both screens. And then Golden Shocker, I think we've got a 3-way tie right now, but the Glue is not out of it. He can certainly grab this Esper, and he's already cleared out most of KT, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if we see difficult KT bosses, Glue's going to be able to go back in there and just run people, like two people party up the side. So if we see a Magimaster or a Doomgaze or something that's going to give everybody else a lot of trouble, it's not going to give Glue any trouble.
No. Hopefully.
It's going to give him less trouble.
Less trouble. There you go. Yeah. Have we seen anybody check those? I noticed Golden Shocker, so. He didn't go down and hit the switch to open up the other two paths earlier. And now he's warping out. So it was not a mistake. He just said, "Nah, I'm not doing that." So he could technically walk up and see who the bosses were, but he's opting for the YOLO. Well, the post-Safeway YOLO strat.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the opposite of YOLO. It's like anti-YOLO. He's like
you only live
you
twice.
Only live many times. I don't know. Yeah, so he's going to do the full send on both sides. So that would eradicate any advantage Drinks would have going up the sides there. So yeah, it is Golden Shocker has kind of really clawed back in. It was looking dire for him for a while.
Yeah. Schwantz finally taken out this beefy Fun Bob. And Gar, is he 1 XP? Or did he make a boo-boo?
Gar hates Scullions and needs to eradicate Scullions wherever he can find them, I guess. He was
looks like he took it off on purpose.
He did, yeah. I don't know if he was trying to learn magic or what was going on there, but...
maybe so. Or maybe he was at multiples of 5 and thought he didn't want to risk it?
Possibly.
I'm not sure. Put that in the notes. Ask him about that.
Why fight Scullion when no Scullion...
Better? I don't know.
Yeah. Do you hate Scullions? Show me on the Moogle where the Scullion... All right, so we see Golden Shocker back in, Gar going back in. So nobody's going to take this KT in one go. We're all sort of kind of dipping our toes in slowly here. Do you think that's a testament to the sort of light offense as we see Drinks Glue get his KT requirements?
Honestly, I think it's being gun shy about normalize and distort. I think that's all it is. Otherwise, we would have seen somebody muscle through.
I mean, they're beefy bosses, right? So for Golden Shocker, he's got, 15 progression. So that's like 30 some odd levels plus 10, because like the seed starts with plus 10 levels. So These are not only normalized and distorted levels, but they're plus 10 plus another 10 if they did the Zen Thief, which I think they all did. So these are like level cap levels. I think max scale level's 50. So these are all level 50 bosses, even before we start adding in N and D.
Yeah, it's all coming screaming back to me what I did to these people 3 years ago.
Yeah, luckily...
I didn't deliberately make it as terrible as possible, but... So what happened in the Battle Royale, the original intention was every round was like a Battle Royale video game where, you have that shrinking circle, whatever the kids call that, and it was intentionally supposed to squeeze you harder and get more difficult. And by the time we got to the end, it was like, I think it might have been these same flags, and then all I did was turn on normalize and distort, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And I think there was less gold as well. I think you turned the gold down and you made a couple of tweaks. So yeah, I think luckily or unluckily, depending on how you want to look at it, neither of us had to deal with this, because I think I scrubbed out in round 3 and you were out the round after that. So this was all like you just inflicting bitterness on everybody else.
I wear it on my sleeve. I am not ashamed. But you know what? I mean, they're like up until this point, they've had, I think we saw one wipe to an early spicy chicken. Mm-hmm. Have they had any other trouble really? So thus far? I mean, other than kind of a weak offense on a tough boss, but they still made it through. I don't know if we've seen more than one wipe. that I can
No,
recall.
just slow fights. Slow fights
Yeah.
that can sometimes be as bad as a wipe, but they haven't been egregiously slow, which is kind of impressive considering how bad, like especially Golden Shocker, where his offense was just so lacking, and yet still has been able to make up time. So I think Golden Shocker especially has just done a really good job of finding a way to do more with less.
Hopefully he doesn't watch this playback because we've been talking a lot of shit about his offense. Sorry, Golden Shocker. It's no offense.
It's not, yeah, Golden Shocker, great person with some weak party members right now. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these racers probably going to not be super eager to go back and rewatch this. I think poor Drinks Glue is going to be, I think there's going to be some frustration there in thinking about this one. I think he's going to want to do over.
Yeah, probably so. But, and Schwantz may regret stopping in the middle of a check to rename all his characters if he loses by 9 seconds. So, just it should be a fun post-race interview, one way or another.
Yeah, we still have to see Final Kefka with Normalize and Distort, so we still could have some extremely fun stuff. So, yeah, the seed is not over yet. I mean, we've said that there's only been one wipe, but one wipe so far is what we should
So
really
far,
be adding
yeah.
to that.
Yeah, as Falcon Hit kind of points out, and I think Hefe pointed out earlier, is I'm actually a big fan of Normalize and Distort because,
Me too.
as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, at least half the bosses in Final Fantasy VI are kind of a joke. They're whole day to win, no need to worry. A lot of them are one shot. And this at least makes it, it gives the bosses a chance to do something rather than just immediately die. And so I like that aspect. But the one kind of like trolley I cannot argue with is Tier 3 of Final Kefka, where you don't know when you're in Medio phase, you don't know how much it's going to do. It's unavoidable damage other than if you just really have good blind luck or stacking magic defense or magic evade or whatever. I think it's the same thing. So,
Yeah,
that could use a polish. I like the rest
it's
of it.
nice. It's nice on bosses like Ifrit and Shiva, right? Like we just saw Golden Shocker have to go all the way to Shiva, and like he's had to fight his way through the Ifrit and Shiva fight, which is normally just like you cast Ice 3 twice on Ifrit, and then you laugh and collect your experience. But it's nice on those bosses. It's a little less nice on Final Kefka, who's already gets his fair share of kills on us.
Yeah, I mean, even Drinks Glue, who's got the offense, is still like, I don't know if he's gonna necessarily make it to Shiva, but if it's putting up a fight, and this is why that flag I think is great.
Yeah, no, I'm an N&D apologist as well. So.
Well, if this doesn't get him, I think we are going to see Shiva come out. Well, technically we did, but
you were going to be right no matter what. As we see Golden Shocker fighting the final boss, it is the Welk. So I don't think we're going to see too many more kills from these side bosses.
no,
Schwantz.
I don't reckon we'll have a big problem. I am curious. Oh, he's going straight for the shell too. Why not? That does split down. Anyway, curious how much HP Welk has and how many Grues we're going to see.
Oh yeah, that's always a fun one.
Nope.
Not many.
that much.
Yeah. Welk almost putting a stop to Golden Shocker's late game GP rain offense, but no, he has solved the problem yet again with money.
I really hope he throws money right in Tier 4 Kefka's angel wing clad face.
I think he's going to. I think
If he has any money left by then, we don't know.
he's got
Let's see,
9,765 GP, so he's got 7 more GP rains in him. He's got to use them sparingly. If only there was some merchant here waiting to buy his fixed dice from him. Schwantz, meanwhile, doing
that's a
like
good quality of life change right there. Write that one down. But he only buys fixed dice, not just
shoot,
a regular merchant, just only fixed dice.
I forgot to write it down. So Golden Shocker is at the switches. It is 109.30-ish. So how long do we think Golden Shocker, the first man to be on the switches, is going to take to finish this thing. Go ahead and put your predictions in the twitch.tv/chat and figure out how long this one's going to take. Spoiler, it might not be super fast. So go ahead and use that info accordingly. But we have a 1632, a 1712. These are all good numbers. I think those are all fair numbers.
So how many? How many climbs are we? How many times are we going to fight tier 1? Maybe that's a good question.
Tier 1. So tier 1, obviously, a lot of spicy, angry physical attacks. I'm not sure if we've seen a lot of good defense from any of our racers other than the elemental shields. So it will be interesting to see how much these big physicals end up doing.
So he's got a halfway decent Atma weapon swing. He just hit quad 9s on the fire cast. So he's not, I mean, it's not pathetic at this point, right? We're not gonna, I hope we don't just watch a struggle fight. And he's got Vanish going, so tier 1 should be relatively smooth. It's really tier 3 is the X factor here. But this is great because we've got our, what we assume is our not least offensive, but least offensive runner getting there first. So now it's like, how much time can Glue make up versus Gold Shocker, who's getting there a little bit later.
And Glue is actually right behind him. So Glue has managed to come back from that mishap, and will probably be about 2 minutes behind to start this race. Sorry, that was very Canadian. About 2 minutes behind to start this this final Kefka fight, as Gar ran into a bit of a trouble with Ifrit and Shiva. So Gar looking up to make some lost time. Schwantz is, I think, just about to hit some switches here as well. So it's still reasonably tight, and a single Kefka wipe for any of these racers levels the playing field immediately.
Yeah, I think we're about to see a lot of Merton blasting here from Glue, so I expect him to kind of vault forward. I think we're going to see them go, and I think Drinks Glue is going to hit tier 3 first. But again, X factor is how good is your defense? How many meteos can you dodge or withstand? And yeah, he's going to obliterate tier 1 here.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty brisk. I think these Ifrit and Shiva fights are wild. These are taking some time. Very Blizzard pointing out that Glue didn't fix his Rose after the Mobleys fight, which annoying thing of the Mobleys fight is when Fumbaba gets rid of your people and they come back, their Rose are not correct. They're back to default.
I don't think I've ever remembered to fix that in my life, not once. So I'm
bad for remembering Rose in general. So yeah, don't look at me.
So Gar about to hit the switch, homeboy, and Schwantz following close behind, although, well, we'll see what happens with his fight here. We can see Ifrit moving around, so it's not going super fast, but we might be at the end
he's back to Ifrit after a wave of Shiva, so we've definitely seen a lot of Ifrit and Shiva here. He's Drinks Glue.
Is he going to do the runaway strat?
He's trying.
Is that legal?
It's
okay.
We'll make it legal. Yeah,
I think it's in the rules somewhere, but I think we said it's I can't remember.
I think it is legal, I believe.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I mean, we'll ban him for other reasons, but
confirmed, it's allowed.
Yeah. The Ifrit Shiva run is wholesome and as old as the Soldier Skip or Curse Shield shenanigans, so we don't shame people for that.
The band 27, nice. All right, so there goes Drinks Glue through tier 1. Oh right, we both fighters have the Welk fight. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, which hopefully shouldn't be too bad. These Welks were pretty easy, fortunately. We didn't high roll on Welk HP. Yeah, Drinks Glue catching up.
Question in chat about running from Ifrit. I don't know if your question is it legal or like you just didn't know it could be done, but we do allow some glitches in these events It kind of make sure to read the event rules before you start. Basically, the overarching rule is whoever comes up with the event gets to make the rules. So check your documentation.
The real truth is that Boo made a document for, in fact, this exact event, the Battle Royale 2022, and I've copied and pasted a lot of the content of it, including the glitches allowed and glitches not allowed. That same verbiage has been in use for events since like 2022. So, yeah,
It was a good document.
it was a great document.
Half proud of that document.
If it ain't broke, then I refuse to fix it.
All right. Gar on the switches at 1522. 1:15:22.
Yeah, so he's 5 minutes back from Golden Shocker, like 3 minutes back from Drinks Glue. He's about maybe closer to 6 minutes back from Golden Shocker. Going to be tough to make up that time, but again, tier 2 and tier 3 here can do some wild stuff. Like those tier 3 Meteos, if Sleep rolled high, then those Meteos could just instantly one-shot any of these parties, because we're not dealing with big HP pools.
Yeah. Even in tier 2, like I am no stranger to being zombied while being muddled, while being whatever else, and like some real nasty stuff can happen in tier 2. It's certainly helpful if you have Merton and can just mow them down in 4 turns, but not all of us have that.
As long as you don't provoke your death counters in the wrong order and get quartered into a 10 hits, or finish off the 10 hits and then get immediately Mertoned on the next phase. Although I guess Merton on the next phase is not something you have to worry about.
Not in this case.
Schwantz waiting for a Welk to reemerge. I have to say, hats off to Welk, or hats off to Welk. No, the Welk sucks, but hats off to Schwantz, who I think did a great job of, he was in a dicey spot for a bit, and I think really has come back. Like, this is, for a race where there's been a lot of like mishaps and at times a lot of disparity in terms of progress through the seed, I think it's a testament that everybody's found a way to get really like close at the end here.
Yep. Yeah, I think we had a pretty linear path, right? There was really only one starting check that provided a character, even with the 3-character start, and we weren't short on checks, but so this is one of those kind of like, if you picked, check luck would do you big favors in this one, and I don't think too many people get like catapulted ahead. If anybody had started with Bowser's Mansion, they'd probably be done already.
Yeah,
but we've got a pretty decent parity here as Schwantz hits the switches at, what was that, 1:17:35 or so.
Yeah, so he's going to be about 8.5 minutes back from Golden Shocker. So as Drinks Glue just barely edges ahead, it looked like Shocker was going to get there first, but Drinks Glue is on tier 3. So now we find out what the heck is going to happen here on tier 3 and whether these Meteos are going to be a problem, because we do not have enough offense to skip through the Meteo phase. So if we see Meteo counters, they are going to be damaging as Gar is moving on to tier 2.
More. So Drinks Glue just used the Revivify on Sleep, I think, to let him know how much HP Sleep has. As vanilla, it will give him 5,000 HP because it's, what is it, 25, 1/8. I don't know, 1/8? Is it 1/8? Yeah, 1/8 of his HP back. So he saw it was 51, 52, I think it said. So he's got just slightly higher than normal HP.
Smart. Yeah, smart play. Now, hopefully Rest doesn't have about the same amount of HP. I think the last N&D seed I did, Rest had like 30k or something silly, so.
Who?
Oh, girl, sorry. Girl. Lady, the thing in the back.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
Well, who's Rest?
Rest is Sleep. So depending on what you're looking at, Sleep and Rest, sometimes it's
Yeah, well, sometimes in the wrong translation it's Rest, and sometimes in the right one it's Sleep.
Oh, these don't have official names?
Worse thing.
Are
you new here?
In the ROM? Like, if you go in the ROM, do they have names? I don't even.
No, I don't.
Like in the actual data?
I don't know.
I think it's like Jethro.
If the name exists in the GBA version, I don't want it.
Oh, yeah, those are wrong names. That's for sure. No, I think we can all agree that these are Statue of the Gods F and Statue of the Gods G that we're fighting right now.
Deal.
So we've got the other calmness that's come out a couple times to ruin Drinks Glue's days. He's been hit by the calmness that puts people to sleep, which is
Yeah, same
really
with Shocker.
annoying.
He was about to lose a significant portion of his damage. Hopefully he has like a life 2 or something. He does have a life 2.
He sure
Alright, no big
does.
deal.
Yeah, just got
The best cure.
wailed by that W wind. Yeah, this is gonna be close. I mean, Gar is right there still. I think if Gar has a fortunate tier 2, he could be right back in this, because this tier 3, I don't know genuinely what the answer is. If you get lucky and only see train counters, I think this maybe goes okay. But if you start seeing meteos, this tier 3 could just be god awful.
I hope
I mean,
so.
it's already been problematic, as we've seen a few deaths.
I can't wait.
This is cathartic for you, Boo. I mean, you've never had a bad Kefka encounter, so
I
don't know.
have a perfect, immaculate Kefka fight every single time I play. It's never gone wrong.
That's how I've heard it. Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, his HP totals. I mean, nobody's HP totals are high, so this is gonna get hairy. Although he gets, I don't know, is it lucky that he got a train instead of a Meteo there, considering I think his whole offense is magic? Well, I guess he's breaking something here. Oh, all right. Well, that's
He's through.
Yeah,
He's through.
cracked shield.
He's all muted, but he's through. And yeah, the Meteos not as scary as we were thinking, as they were only doing, I think, 1700. Golden Shocker also threw at the cost of Gao. So Drinks Glue and Golden Shocker extremely close here.
Very nice. So yeah, I thought Drinks Glue was gonna just kind of fly past Golden Shocker with that, what I perceived as a superior offense, but clearly it's a little better. But it's not. He's not miles ahead. So this will be a tight one.
I think he's going to be slowed down a bit here too, because he's got to spend early turns here getting rid of this silence condition, which means he's not going to be able to skip the fallen one. So he's now going to spend even more time healing up after as well. So it's going to be a bit of a pain.
See how
Meanwhile,
Golden Shocker tackles it.
Golden Shocker's got Cyan in the party now, so I think he's got the secret weapon all lined up and ready to go.
Was that Cyan with natural jump?
It was, yeah.
There's a huge missed opportunity here. Just saying.
Also a Terra that everybody refuses to use morph, despite her having a full morph gauge right now.
Huh. Yeah, definitely use that. Well, I know people like to line up their elemental shields to start breaking when he goes into that phase.
Mm-hmm.
But like, leave your shields on, because he can still cast magic and it can still hurt, and he does hurt. So like, you don't want to take it off too early. At least I don't.
It's the part of the script you don't often see, because you usually blow through it. But yeah, he will throw around some tier 3 magic here.
Hey, there's that morph.
Morph is up. Golden Shocker using Cure 1 to get some HP back. Here's that Fire 3 we were talking about, some tier 3 magic. Knocks her right back down.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, Cure 1, not even worth a turn, right? Because anything Kefka does is going to do more damage than what a Cure 1 can heal, but he just proved me wrong. Although I think it was the morph that saved him.
Yeah, I think it was the morph. As we're seeing Havoc Wings take some victims here as well. So takes a Realm from Golden Shocker. Havoc Wing one-shotted Gao for quad 9s on the other side. Drinks Glue, I think, is up and running again. He was able to stabilize, but again, not a ton of offense flying around right now. So this is not the smoothest Kefka fight, as Realm goes back down on that side. And we've got Goner coming out now. I don't think Golden Shocker can beat this Goner.
No, he's going to have to heal up and pray it's a weak one. Although he's not healing up.
Oh, this is
he threw the money. He threw the money.
He threw the dice, and the coins, and the GP didn't get it done.
Oof, this is rough.
Trusted in the heart of the
definitely lose everyone, but maybe I don't know. Terra might be in trouble here too. See what Normalize and Distort did to his magic
she's
power.
alive. Now, how the heck do you stabilize here? Because like at any given time, right now, Kefka can just
double Havoc
annihilate the
Ring
team. Yeah.
Toast.
Meanwhile,
I
we've
think
got
you
Goner coming out on Drinks Glue side, so we'll see if he can beat the Goner. Drinks Glue still has he brought Gogo along, so he's able to duplicate these shields for some big damage.
Yes, very nice. He's gonna double flare here. Looks like he's mousing over the timer. So if he's done the, oh, there's that double Havoc Wing. Ouch. On Golden Shocker. If Kefka's HP didn't, get distorted way down, he's done the math here, or he might have done the math here, and he has. All right.
He's done it. GG.
Jeez. Drinks Glue is our what's this thing called? You do it.
He is our Ultra Sleek. No. He is our Warring. No. Shoot.
Nope.
Blackjack. No. He's our Balance of Power Battle.
That was never a thing.
That was never a thing. I got talked out of it. He is our Flashback Battle Royale winner 2025. 5 long years of Worlds Collide. It all has brought us to Drinks Glue, winning this race.
Congratulations, Drinks Glue. And there's our second place finish by Golden Shocker. He stuck it out against all odds and adversity. GG's.
Well, we weren't going to bring in Drinks Glue for an interview because we didn't really want to hear what he has to say, but he's come in here on his own, so I guess we'll talk to him after all. Drinks Glue, congratulations. You are the flashbackist of all of our racers. Congratulations.
Thank you. That was pretty textbook, if I don't say so myself.
Smooth, yeah. I don't think there was a single.
I didn't see a single hiccup especially in Kefka's Tower. Not a one.
Yeah. You know what?
Congrats on a perfect race.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm tired of being humble. I'm going to celebrate this one with some 4-cheese lasagna. I don't know if you guys have ever had 4-cheese lasagna, but once you have it, you'll never have lasagna with 3 cheeses or less again.
Well, I guess my first question is, what are the cheeses that you're talking about? Like, are we including ricotta in this? Because I do like ricotta in a lasagna.
Of course, you got the Parmesan, you got the mozzarella, and then after that, the world is your oyster.
And you should probably apologize to our Italian viewers while you're at it.
No, as I said, I may even dabble into some 5-cheese lasagna if there is such a thing. If not, we may be onto a business opportunity. And if any of our Italian friends would like to reach out, a businessman.
I think that's the devil's lasagna. So I guess in actual news here, talk us through the seed. How did it go? How did you find that seed? And did anything go wrong?
Nope, I wouldn't change a thing. I think I know what you're trying to get to, but yeah, we'll go back to that point. You're probably wondering the moment we're all talking about. Why didn't I take Terra and why did I keep Gogo? I had some serious doubts about my MP and how much MP I would be able to use to get to that fight or the final fight. Because if you saw, I kind of ran out of MP when I was tackling Fumbaba way back at the Guardians about like 2 hours ago. So if I couldn't, muster the MP to comfortably get through Fumbaba, I probably don't have enough MP to get through tier 1, much less, all the other tiers together. So Gogo being able to mimic X-Magic Merton, while not flashy, not quick, it's nice, safe, and slow, and costs 0 MP, and that's what allowed me to get through some of the tiers early on before the MP struggles got real later.
Yeah, so Golden Shocker, technically, he was the first on the switches, but he did not unlock Merton, as you would say. That Merton really kind of catapulted you there at the end. So it was a good strat.
I would argue technically I was first on the switches, but again, we know how that went.
Well, I guess I should say he was the first to activate the switches.
Yeah, he actually stepped on the switches instead of walking up to them and then being declined.
Oh, okay, of course. My apologies.
Also, real quick, rip
Oof.
Gar.
Oof.
Oh no.
GG's.
Yeah, no, that was a product of, in my head, I was saying I just need to find 3 characters and 12 checks. So I wasn't even looking at my espers. I just knew I had 6 characters, and I knew that Tritalk was check number 12, and 3 characters plus 9 espers equals 12 checks, and it totally slipped my mind that Merit Falls was the marble shoes, and that's when I realized when I got up top, that's why I had 8 espers.
Yeah, I mean, you had us guessing for a bit when you were doing your first couple dives. We thought, oh man, Drinks Glue knows something we don't. He's on a different meta altogether. He is like seeing the Matrix, and then yeah.
Yeah, I would like to personally petition right now. Anybody out there that's a developer, would you be interested in putting the Esper count on our lovely tracker? That would prevent that situation from happening in the future. So in the future races, runners can look at their Espers and not estimate how much they have based on the number of checks they have done. That would be a huge boon to the game and a big quality of life improvement, in my opinion.
Yeah, that would be smart. That would be amazing to have the Esper count on trackers. We'll put a note of that because that's something we have characters and we have bosses and all that kind of stuff. Why aren't we tracking Espers? That's a good question.
Yeah.
And we do have a couple more folks joining us. Golden Shocker, our very, very, very close runner-up in here, who is just 40 seconds and a few GP reigns behind, and Gar, who just met an unfortunate fate at the hands of Kefka. Golden Shocker and Gar, congrats and/or GG. Welcome in.
Hey, thanks.
Golden Shocker, just in case you happen to watch this race back, we were talking a lot of trash about your offense. Not in like a hateful way, but in like a oh no kind of worrying way, and you proved me wrong. Your offense was better than I gave it credit for, and you almost pulled it out there. So, GG and apologies.
It was bad. I mean, honestly, if I had just anything more, I mean, I was at Final Kefka, the tier 4 at like 120. Like, I was in that fight for a long, long time. It was one heck of a close call. I can't believe I got that final rock slide off at the end. That was about as close as it gets.
That was impressive. I thought you were toast for sure, and we even saw, I think, the double Havoc Wing come out right after you revived a couple characters. So it was both a solid play and good luck.
No, I honestly, I wish that Realm got hit there because that would have given me a little bit more of a chance. But she got trained, which didn't give me the option to use Fire 3, so I had to break the shield, throw the GP Rain, and then pray on Realm's turn with that Rage, and that's all I had. Like, I was out of offense. I was flipping through everything in my menu, and there was just nothing left. But I barely made that work. But, I mean, if nothing else, I mean, definitely GG's to Glue. I mean, it was just ever so close. I'm sure that was one heck of a watch, because I was struggling that whole KT. I'm sure that he, like, caught a ton of ground up on me as I was doing clean.
Sorry to interrupt. We have
no.
an official Ultima cast. Except he has the greatest offense in the history of video games. Has just sorry, Glue, Shocker, apologies. You've both forfeited, and the Schwanz is the real winner. Sorry, it's going in the official documentation.
Nice.
Beautiful clutch Dragoon strats. Yeah, I think for everybody, offense was pretty light. I know we were kind of looking back and forth at each other virtually with the GP Rain being used. Golden Shocker, we're like at the 30-minute mark, we're seeing the GP Rain being used, and then 40-minute we're seeing GP throwing. And we're like, okay, it's got to be done now. 10 minutes later, there's more GP coming out being thrown. So I think we were looking back and forth there at that. And Gar, I know your offense was a bit scuffed at some point too. What happened at the end there? Did you just need to fight a couple more Scullions to get enough to get through Kefka, or what let you down at the end?
I probably should have grinded on the Scullions or attempted to grind on the Scullions a little bit more. I did not expect Goner to be that chunky, and that's really all I have to say about that. Also, shout outs to Poltergeist for being in maybe the worst spot ever.
Yeah, the Poltergeist fight was pain for everybody, including the Schwanz, who would have won this, except he spent 7 minutes on rename cards, renaming his team. It was incredible. He just could not come up with a spelling for these names. So he was actually in Kefka's tower at the 45-minute mark, and then took out the rename cards, and we lost him. We lost him at that point.
Well, as everybody knows, I can be quite wordy, right? So when you're dealing with 7 characters, or 6 characters or less, rather, it's a bit of a problem for me.
I just thought, like, using rename cards to spell out the entire opening passage of A Tale of Two Cities, like, at first I thought, it was the best. And he's like talking about the event, but the best of times, the worst of times, he's going to do the whole damn thing. And you did. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, well,
Entire first chapter.
I gotta burn those. I gotta burn those somehow, right? We gotta make it fun for the fans that are watching. I had
I'm
no hopes
gonna
of
watch
winning
this back for
race,
sure.
so
Whoa,
I had no hopes of
excellent.
winning. So if I could rename card and make somebody smile, then that's fine.
Schwantz, let me ask you something. Knowing what we know now, with the end of your race specifically, do you regret going to Zozo to get that Dragoon set?
Absolutely not.
Am right.
Yeah, I saw an Aura Lance like in a shop, and I saw that everybody in my party could wear it. So I'm like, light bulb went off. Let's go spend the minute and 45, 2 minutes to go get these boots and horn, and at least somebody will benefit from it, right? It turns out that the legend Sabin saved my run there. So slow clap.
Excellent.
So let's go around the horn here real quick. We're done this event. It was 9 weeks of we laughed, we cried. We'll start with you, Glue. Favorite flag set and least favorite flag set?
Hands down this one. Each time I ran 2 of them, and each time I ran one of these, I got more confused about what I should do. And I kind of ended up on the idea that maybe I just don't bank on ever finding physical offense, and I just embrace Fire 3 or Merton or Bolt 3 or whatever I do and don't find, and let's stick with that. My favorite, hands down, is Edgar's Chainsaw. Barter shops are just fun, and they're 100% random, so it doesn't matter if you go left or right, you stumble across good things some way, somehow, and that's always a good time.
Golden Shocker, same question.
I would say Doom's Rage is probably the favorite. I mean, that's just a fun flag set with all the offense. I mean, you could just stack a team up and just go, which is really fun. And then, some of the options and some of the objectives that are out there made that really interesting. Least, I mean, this is more personal problem, but the way that I played Madwin just crushed my soul. I was in Final Kefka for an hour 40. So I'll just say I'm not going to do that again, at least not in the very near future.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're Madwin, you came 25th in a week that you get cut off at 25, so I can completely understand that you don't want to ever talk about Madwin again. I wouldn't either. Gar, Madwin, great flag set or greatest flag set, or is there another that is even greater?
Any flag set where you have to start with Strago is great. And I don't know what flag set specifically that is, but as far as this event goes, I'm going to echo Golden Shocker there. I really do enjoy Doom's Rage. I love getting big sticks and swinging them. It fulfills my primal urge, like my caveman instincts to unga bunga the whole seed.
Yeah, fair. And the Schwantz, if you want to spoil your recap video, what was your favorite and least favorite seed?
Yeah, so the
Flags.
Madwin table was the only flag set I think I've ever found myself in the history of me playing the game. Going, I have no idea what to do with this. Every single other flag set I've ever played, and there have been some weird ones, I've at least known, okay, I need to go buy Revivify and kill some undead enemies because the enemies are plus 50 levels ahead of me, right? That one, I just was like, hope and pray. That's my strategy, which is not a good strategy. I really did like this particular flag set with all the cool objectives to try and create sort of your own build. However, the normalize and distort flag can go what itself.
Yeah,
that one is not one of my favorites, and I heard that Gar had some fun with Goner. So
yeah. Did you know that Goner does a lot of damage?
I mean, I lost most of my party at Atma Weapon from the same thing.
You guys are just lucky that Medio didn't do that much, because usually it's Medio that kills you in N&D. So
yeah.
Small,
I was happy to
favors.
get most of Merton protection, because normally that's like the run killer there, right? You're all psyched. You're like, yes, tier 2 went great. Let's get on to tier 3, and boom, you're all dead. I just felt like I could never kill bosses fast enough. And I looked at my levels and I'm like, yeah, they're a little low, but they shouldn't be like every fight is taking 4 minutes low, right? Like, and that's what normalize and distort will do. It'll make fights last longer, which is kind of interesting because most bosses are a pushover in Worlds Collide. So maybe I'm wrong about normalizing Distort. It does make the game different.
Well,
I
we
wasn't
also
gonna
had a
say it out
ton
loud.
of boss levels too.
Yeah, I think everybody was at level cap for bosses at the end because of the Zen Thief and because of the +10 at the beginning. I think all of you were at level 50 bosses at the end.
And it was a good time had by all.
Yeah,
So
I want to
other
thank
than-
I was going to say I want to thank the Restream team for putting the race together. Thank you for volunteering. Can't have the races without the volunteers, so appreciate that. Sorry, Double Down, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say I wanted to thank the Restream team. We can't have races without the. No, I was going to say that. No, I'm in reverse order. We'll start with Gar, who got to Kefka, didn't quite finish Kefka. Gar, closing thoughts on this seed and this event in general, or life? I mean, any philosophical musings you want to share? Any other things you'd like to opine about?
I mean, randomizer is going to randomizer. I am just thrilled that I got here in the first place. So like that alone was like very, very exciting for me. And going up against like basically the most stacked opposition that I could find, I knew the competition was going to be tough. So GG's to Glue and GG's as well to Golden Shocker and DSchwantz27. What a phenomenal race, like a 40-second difference between Glue and Shocker. That's pretty amazing. So liked the seed, loved the event in general, even if I had some complaints about some of the seeds. Cough cough, Maduin. But I absolutely had a blast. Thank you very much for having me. Thanks to the Restream team tonight, and thanks to all the wonderful viewers at home getting a nice evening of Worlds Collide action. So yeah, that's all I got.
And the Shantz27, same question. Any closing remarks or any sort of realizations you've come to about this event, this flag set, this seed, this life we live?
Yeah, I thought this event was a really great walk down memory lane for some of us older folk in the community. And I just don't mean that in age. I mean like who joined the community a little bit earlier. I think there was a couple of flag sets in here that I had not played originally, but a lot of these events, I do remember them. So it was really cool to revisit some of these, older flag sets. And I appreciate, you and Double Down and Boo to spark the idea of, hey, let's do this because we're coming up on 5-year anniversary type of thing. And I thought that was a really clever way of, honoring the community that we've sort of built up around here. Because, it is a community after all, lots of people helping out to do various things, whether it's restreaming or mentoring new players or organizing events or, joining races or editing wikis, right? So really appreciate all the effort that went into to everything here. It's been a lot of fun. I wish I could have, won this last particular race to send it off on a high note. However, I am not disappointed that I made it all the way to the finals. It's a bit crazy when you have 50 people and you're whittled down into the top 4. It's kind of amazing that way. So thanks to all of my fellow runners as well.
Thank you. And I meant to say this earlier, but full credit where credit is due. I think the original concept for this event was Boo and Schwantz, who, I think I was going to propose a completely different thing. And I think both of them came up with this notion of let's do something to celebrate the anniversary and let's use old flag sets and old seeds and stuff. So full credit to both of those incredible admins that we're lucky to have who came up with a great concept for this event. So, doesn't get said enough.
With our apologies for the flag sets, I mean.
Well, yeah, some we celebrate,
Although I
some
think
we
you guys
apologize for.
honestly got off light with the Maduin seed in this event. I don't know if you all played the original one, but it could have been a lot worse. Just saying.
Oh, come on. The average times, I mean, the best time, Drinks Glue was in 4th in that one. He got 159.35. That's
saying.
That's a bad time.
We've had 3-hour seeds before. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
How about the man who just barely survived Match Win by the skin of his teeth and nearly overthrew Drinks Clue tonight, but missed it by about 30, 40 seconds. Golden Shocker, any closing thoughts on this race, this event, or this fine game, this sport of Worlds Collide?
Will say that I had a 3-hour seat on that Madeline, so that hurt a little bit. But anyway,
bad.
I think it was. It was a great event. Obviously, I'm excited that I made it all the way to the finals. I mean, obviously, playing against Glue, Gar, Schwann's, like, can't ask for more there. And coming ever so close again. I mean, I don't know how many times I've come in second. Someday I'm gonna get in the first, but with that being said, I mean, it's all in fun and games. I mean, I'm definitely just thrilled with how great the community's been. There's so many, different things going on, different events, different people kind of getting involved, especially now with the Moogle Cup picking up again. I mean, you can't, you know, look away from the server for 5 minutes without somebody putting up a Moogle Cup race. So I think, it's a really great community. It's, growing. It's, everybody's still really excited about what's going on. I think this was a great celebration of, kind of the history of the community. And I think, just looking forward, I think it's going to be another exciting, as many years as everybody will be happy to be here and put this, community up and, do all the things that we do. So, only other thing I would say is, appreciate everybody who was involved with the restream tonight too. Just echo everybody else's thoughts and GG's again to everybody in the race.
Yeah, thank you. I think, it's a great randomizer. And until they come out with another Final Fantasy game, until they make a Final Fantasy VII, which I don't think they ever will, this will be the greatest randomizer. So, yeah. Well, Boo, I don't know. Was there anybody else we needed to talk to, or is that it? I think that just wraps us up, doesn't it? I don't think there's anybody else.
Anybody else here?
No, I don't think so. Oh, shoot. Somebody's DMing me a lot that they really have a lot to say. I gotta let them talk.
Here.
Yeah, somebody's here. Drinks Glue, I guess. Do you
Oh.
have any parting thoughts or anything you'd like to say about this event or this race or, this week?
Who your favorite admin is?
How much
Yeah.
time will y'all give me right here, right now?
You got
9.
20
Give me a
seconds.
time. No, be for real, my friend.
5.
5 minutes?
4,
Okay. This will only
3,
take 3 minutes and 50
2,
seconds,
1.
so we'll need 70 seconds of silence and then I'll get started, okay?
Perfect.
All right, thank you. No, but in no particular order, I want to thank Golden Shocker, Gar, and Schwantz, amazing finalists to be able to play this wonderful game with. You couldn't ask for a better group to go on Restream. And then all the other people that didn't make it this far, all these amazing players like Javinator, Bubbaski, Numbers, Elfer, Honeydew, Narbs, the list goes on and on. To play this wonderful game with so many great friends and amazing people, it's a really cool thing, and the fact that stuff like this existed for so long and for without me ever knowing about it is one of my greatest regrets in life. And just want to thank everybody, even Double Down, even Boo. I'm not making thumbs down gestures right now when I say the admins' names, but even y'all for putting this all together. I appreciate all the time and effort y'all put forth, and everything that it happens in this community is volunteered by some way, whether it's manpower or hosting the website or the wiki. Everything comes through somebody's volunteer time, and I am eternally grateful for all of y'all.
You got 75 seconds still to go.
Yeah, this is the moment of silent part.
I thought that was at the beginning. You said it was starting with the moment
Well,
of silence.
it was like 7 seconds a moment, of silence, and then we'll do the rest of it on the back half.
I don't like it. No, you can't bookend it with silence. You gotta say something else. I mean, do you have anything else you want to plug? Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah,
We paid for the ad time here.
Okay, well, unfortunately, this seed did not have a Yumaro in it. Which, if you don't know me at all, there is one character in this game that is near and dear to my heart, and I really, really wish people would stop leaking on airships. Stop making jokes about the guy. It's starting to get personal at this point. Just leave him alone. Just put him in your party. Just trust me. Great things will come.
No.
Yeah, and you're talking about Gao, is that right? I think he was talking about Gao. Honestly, impossible to tell at this point, and he's done for time now. That was his time. So you heard it here first from Drinks Glue. Show some more respect to Gao, the greatest character in the game. Adopt a Gao today. Yeah, we love Gao, and I think we all agree, and there's no disagreement on that. Boo, what a great 9-week event. What do you have to say? What's on your mind, Boo?
So I started playing this game 5 years ago. It was a little fledgling project from our fearless leader at Matech. So like we gotta make mention of the guy. He put in a lot of work into this game we all love, and he's no longer here, which is unfortunate. But the spirit lives on, and it's just been cool to see how the game has grown and changed over the past 5 years. And like we've had a lot of disagreements and arguments and fights and all sorts of stuff, but it's produced a better game and a great community. And I'm happy to be here. And I also want to thank the people who put in all their time and effort with our mod team and our admin team and our community managers, and especially you, Double Down, for taking all these events head on and organizing and spreadsheeting and websiting and all the things that you do. And I know everybody really appreciates it and really has a good time with the stuff that you've been putting together. So thanks to the whole community. All of our viewers out there, and hope we have another fun 5 years.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better other than the nice stuff about me, which I didn't care about. Didn't care for it at all. Didn't like it. Made me feel awkward. Everything else though,
Sorry
couldn't
about
agree
that.
more. This is I've said it a million times. This is probably the 7th best community on the entire internet. And I have, again, people don't believe me, but I have interacted with every single one of these communities on the internet. I've been to all of them. Some of them are dark. I like really dark, but this is top 7, easy, maybe even top 6 at this point after one of them got banned. So excellent community. If you haven't played or if you haven't joined our community, join our Discord. Almost everybody there is nice. Schwantz sometimes, if you get them in a bad day, not so much, but everybody else is really nice, really welcoming. It's a great community, great atmosphere. You don't have to be a hardcore racer. You don't have to be a hardcore anything. Come in and lurk. Come in and play the seed of the week. Come in and learn from our mentors, or join the Moogle Cup, or join Ultras League, or don't do any of those things. Just talk about Final Fantasy VI. It doesn't matter. It's all deadly. You can do whatever you want, but come on in and join us. It's a great game. It's a great way to enjoy one of the greatest games of 1994, nay the 90s, nay ever. So yeah, we're all lucky to have this community, and I'm personally very fortunate to be involved, and you guys haven't banned me yet. So yeah.
Well, check your inbox tomorrow.
Shoot. Damn, well, I made it 3 years plus change. So yeah, I guess if only I'd done a little bit better in this event, I would have been unbannable, but oh well. So that does it for me. Boo, anything else you want to get off your chest? You want to air any grievances before we let everybody go?
I feel like there was a plug or two that we were supposed to mention that I neglected for things. Ultras League is making its comeback at some point in the mid future. There's another tournament starting up soon. Check Discord. And just go in Discord and look around. All the things are in there.
Well said, sir.
Just go on Discord. There is, yeah. So I mean, join the Moogle Cup. If you're new to the game, go sign up for the Moogle Cup. There's one going right now, but there's always another one lurking, waiting, hiding, lying in wait, waiting to assail you with helpful information. If you're not ready for that, even, we've got a great mentoring program. You could be taught by some of our greatest, some of our best, and also people like Gar. So there are great racers and also decent Jets of Time players who will be able to tell you how to play Worlds Collide. And then, of course, there's Ultras League, which I know very little about, but no matter your skill level, you can always join Ultras League. It's not just for great racers like Gar or so-so racers like Double Down. Anybody can be part of Ultras League, even you. And I'm talking directly to you now. You know who I'm talking to. It's you. And I'm talking to you. You should go sign up for Ultras League when signups open up. And that'll be soon. Don't call this a pre announcement or anything, but expect an announcement about the announcement to come soon. Anyway, I think that just about does it for us. This was a wonderful event. This was a lot of fun. Thanks everybody for being part of it. Thanks for being part of our restreams. Thanks again to the restream team tonight and our racers. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't once more congratulate Drink S Glue for his terrific performance and his dominant victory in the Flashback Battle Royale. we'll see if you can retain the title in 5 years when we do this again. But yeah, that's it for me. I'm Double Down.
And I'm Boo.
And we're Worlds Collide people. Anyway,
Happy
thanks,
birthday,
everybody.
Worlds Collide.
Here's to 5 more.
Bye.